This program has been brought to you by Republic National Distributing Company, one of the nation's leading wholesale beverage alcohol distributors. And Bajoux Rum, made with only the best Louisiana cane syrup and raw unrefined sugars. Our rums are crafted on-site at the Louisiana Spirits Distillery. For more information, visit BajousRum.com.
Welcome to Appetite for Life, a weekly excursion into the beverage and dining scene as devoured by New Orleanians and those who want to be. I am your host and your guide, Tim McNally. First, we join the adventure that is Laura Belluci's life. Laura is the talented mixologist at Sobou on Charter Street, and the passion she brings to her craft is infectious on both sides of the bar. And then we will head out to California, Palm Springs to be exact, where talented winemaker Charles Mara resides. But his real office is in Sonoma County, California, and his real delight in life is Pinot Noir. And later we visit with Chef Rene Bajoux of Palace Cafe, who takes us on a grand tour of Charcuterie, explaining the history and the technique of creating this wildly popular style of appetizer, bar snack, first course, and late night nosh. Charcuterie is a most popular preparation once again. So sit back and revel in your appetite for life as these quality professionals tell you how they live the life they love.
Discover your New Orleans. Start exploring at followyournola.com.
And I love New Orleans.
And we are back. Tim McNally here on Appetite for Life, WLAE, Channel 32. We thank you for being with us. This is the last word. Laura Belluci's with us this afternoon. Laura, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good to have you here.
It's good to be here.
Yay.
This is very exciting.
Oh, it is? Well, yeah, thank you. For me, too. Always. The last word. This is the drink from Sobou.
Yes, the classic cocktail. That's one of my favorites, and there's a lot of reasons I really love it. Number one, because it has gin and chartreuse, which are two of my favorite cocktail ingredients. And number two, because none of the ingredients seem like they should work together, yet they all harmonize really well. So it's equal parts gin, Luxardo, chartreuse, and lime.
This reminds me of a stew. It's like a lot of diverse ingredients that work together in here.
Yes, I'm big into soups.
Oh,
so,
yeah? Oh,
yeah,
there you go.
and
That
cooking,
works. That
so.
works. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and it has a cool history, too.
What's the history on this drink?
It was invented by Frank Farrell, who was a famous vaudevillian, hence the name Last Word, who was known as the Dublin Minstrel. And it came onto the menu at the Detroit Athletic Club, where he used to hang out, and was one of the most expensive cocktails on the list. So must have been the best, right?
Must have been the best. Frank Farrell was known as the Dublin Minstrel?
The Dublin Minstrel.
Oh.
Sounds like a really cool guy.
How great.
I
I
know.
bet he loved that moniker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we always had the last word, so now we all have last
So the base ingredient in this is gin.
It's actually equal parts, equal everything,
all
which
together.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like that much chartreuse should work in a cocktail. Sounds like it would be intense, but I love playing around with chartreuse in cocktails, so.
What is chartreuse?
Chartreuse is the second oldest liqueur in the world. It's actually made by Carthusian monks in France. The only one older is Benedictine, but it has over 130 herbs and spices, and it's over 110 proof.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But it really is used in a lot of
Delicious.
cocktails, isn't it?
Yeah, and it can be kind of overpowering, but I really love the flavor. It's got this intense herbal element to it, and it's just beautiful.
Is chartreuse ever drunk straight
Absolutely.
as a digestive?
Well, by many bartenders around the French Quarter. Absolutely. It's a great shot, and it's great to just sip on if you have it over ice. It's very versatile.
Do you have another drink for us?
I do. So I didn't intend for this to be a riff on the last word, but once I finished making it, I was like, this is a riff on the last word, which makes sense. So I'm going to make you the Parakeet Nordine.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, it won Best Gin Cocktail in 2015 by Restaurant and Hospitality, and it's one of our best-selling cocktails at Sobou and one of my favorite things to drink.
Wow.
So basically, we're using Plymouth gin today, which is pretty versatile, pretty cool ingredient.
You're a gin lover, aren't you?
I'm such a gin girl. It's so hot here, too. I get to really be a gin girl all the time. Usually in the winter, I switch over to bourbon, but...
Well, that's the Boston in you that's still trying to come out.
Yeah, but I do love me.
Have you,
some gin.
When you experiment with these drinks, like the last word here, this is considered, the parakeet drink is considered a derivative, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a derivative because we're using the same ingredients, but we're kind of playing with proportions and adding in a separate, so instead of Luxardo, you're using Pamplemousse Rosé by Giffard, which is the most beautiful grapefruit liqueur I've ever had. And it's got this sort of rosiness on the nose, plays really well with lime as well. This drink is kind of also about things that play well with lime.
So it's a rosé. Is it a vermouth?
It's a grapefruit and rose liqueur, but you can absolutely treat it like a vermouth, and you can sip on it like a vermouth too as an aperitif.
Where does that come from?
Giffard is from France. The Giffard family started as an apothecary, a lot like Pichot.
Oh yeah.
But then he made this mint liqueur, and it was so popular that he switched everything over to producing liqueurs.
This has to be very popular right now because that color is, rosé is so in.
I know. Yeah, so it's a great cocktail. I like it up, but you can drink it on the rocks too if it's super hot, or even over crushed ice.
And this is a parakeet?
Parakeet Nordine.
Nordine.
So there's a Ken Nordine poem. Ken Nordine was like a 60s jazz poet, and he was a radio voice before that and did like radio dramas. And he has a poem for every color, and one of the colors he chooses is chartreuse. And he talks a lot about all the animals that are affected and a lot about parakeets. So that's why it's called the Parakeet Nordine.
How weird. I love the history of these drinks though, because the stories, these are real people that did all of this.
Yeah.
So it's really close to the color, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So what's the variation here? What happened?
So I dialed down the chartreuse, and then I switched out the Luxardo for the grapefruit. I added tiki bitters, and I put lime and gin, and then I turned up the gin.
Oh my gosh. I hate to tell you this, they're both delicious.
Aren't they?
They are. No wonder you love them. No wonder you love them. Now, what is this thing here?
That is a Luxardo cherry, and now that it's been soaking in its gin soup or stew, as you said, it's going to be extra delicious. Yeah, so none of those bright red maraschinos. Nice dark pitted Luxardo.
This is the thing to use. Those bright red maraschinos, too much sugar.
Yeah.
This is absolutely delicious.
I'm glad you love it.
It's intense. So, Laura, you tend to hang out at Sobou.
Yes.
Yes, because you're the bar mistress there.
Yes, I am. I am the bar chef of Sobou, or the bar mistress.
And you're infamous for popsicles.
Oh yeah, I love making popsicles.
I've got to mention that.
I got really into them this summer, just because we had this huge batch of fresh peaches, and I was like, we got to do something with these. So I did peaches and cream pops with rum, and they were so popular that I started making all different flavors.
Oh,
so now we have a chicory Irish coffee one that I do sometimes, and we have, a vermouth, like Lillet Rosé vermouth, and a grapefruit one that I do.
I use your popsicles as an aperitif. While you're making the drink,
exactly.
I want a popsicle.
Exactly.
And getting myself ready for the drink.
They're also awesome for to-go.
Oh,
to
really?
for instead of your go drink, you just take a go pop, and you're on your way.
Well, see, this New Orleans, you can do a go drink here anyway.
Yeah.
But popsicles, I mean, in other cities, they need popsicles.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly true. Exactly true. So, Sobou is located where?
At 310 Charter Street.
All right.
And our website is sobounola.com.
SOBOU, which the commander's family, T. Martin in particular, wanted to start the thing south of Bourbon.
Yeah.
Like in Houston.
Yeah.
In
like
New York City, like Soho.
Exactly.
Laura, thank you so much for being with us. It was great to have you here.
It was great to be here.
Beautiful drinks.
Thank you.
Tim McNally right here in Appetite for Life. We'll be right back after a short break. And we are back. Tim McNally here, Appetite for Life, WLAE-TV, Channel 32 in New Orleans. Thank you very much for being with us. A real special friend of mine right here, all the way from California, through the magic of Skype. Charles Mara Wines out in Russian River Valley. But Charles, you're in Palm Springs right now.
That's correct, Tim. Just back from harvest about a week ago after you and I were judging.
Tell us about the 2016 harvest as you see it.
Yeah, looks good. I mean, at least in the Russian River, I think they're still picking Cabernet and Napa, but Pinot, Sauvignon Blanc, Zinfandel, really, really good. I mean, we didn't get a heat spike, even though this week's a little heat spike up there, but we picked about 10 days to 2 weeks ago.
Charles, you're working up in the Russian River area in Sonoma County, always have. What's special about that area for you?
Well, you know, Sonoma County, as you probably know, Tim, years ago it was the other county, if you know what I mean, so the other valleys. You know, over the years, they've really developed the fact that we know what grape varietals to plant where in Sonoma County, and Russian River is really certainly known for Pinot Noir, but Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, Old Vine, Zinfandel. It's just a great area. It's cool, microclimate, the soils are great, and just an excellent growing region for those varietals that I just mentioned.
Well, since you brought up the Sauvignon Blanc, Charles, we have here in front of us the Mara White Grass Sauvignon Blanc. That's going to be a 2013. First of all, Sauvignon Blanc is much better young, isn't it?
Yes, unless you make it, you know, I mean, there's certain ways you can keep it, you know, fresh and lasting. And, you know, besides picking on sugars, you pick on a, you know, pH levels, which I try to get as low as possible. And you can do them with the 4 vineyards that we use in that particular wine that you have. There's 3 from Dry Creek Valley, which is right next door to Russian River, and 1 is from the Russian River. But yeah, 2013 for that particular Sauvignon Blanc was quite good, and it's still fresh. And usually you want to drink these wines between 2 and 3 years, 4 years tops. But this one I did a little bit different. I kept it on the skins a little longer, so you got a little bit more richness, higher acidity.
Charles, this wine has terrific citrus in it. Wonderful grapefruit going on in there.
Yeah, it does. A lot of green apple, too, and kind of pear and melon, which is characteristic of Dry Creek Russian River. It doesn't really have a lot of the kind of other overtones, but this particular clone, or those clones in Sonoma County, do really well with citrus, green apple, pear, melon, unlike some of the New Zealands that are a little bit more grapefruit, a little bit lighter in style.
Yeah, the New Zealand is a lot more herbaceous, it seems to me, in those wines, and this one has more definition to it.
Yeah, I think so. That's the difference between the New Zealand's and certainly Sonoma County, and I think that varietal does really well over the years. We've cropped it down so that you get less crop and much better quality in the wines. And I think since 2010, even 9, the wines of Sauvignon Blanc out of Sonoma County have been absolutely stunning.
Charles, let me move on to the red grape because I know that's just a darling of yours, this Pinot Noir, which you took on a rascal here to specialize in, but your Pinots have always been off the chart in Sonoma County. Why is that? I know you pay a lot of attention to like atmospheres and things like this.
Yeah. Well, I kind of take a chance with Pinot Noir when you produce it. Number one, there's 2 acres that I draw off from. Most Pinots average 5 tons an acre. I get 2 tons an acre. And we pick it at certain sugars, which you're going to get. Again, the acidity and pH level is important. But when I bring it into the winery, we crush it real quick, put it in open containers, punch it down. And then when it gets to about 1% sugar, we press it. And we press it at 1 atmosphere. 1 atmosphere is 14.7 pounds per square inch. It's me shaking your hand, so it's essentially free run juice. And we put it in barrel, stir it for 9 to 11 months. Don't rack it at all. Don't move the wine. Pinot's very delicate. If you move the wine, it causes air and volatility, and we don't want that. So I rack it 1 time a week before we bottle, and then I bottle it, and I let it sit in bottle for another 18 months to 2 years before I release it. So it's kind of,
Charles, that pressing thing is really important because you're not pulling all those tannins out of the grape skins.
Absolutely, that's the key. The second pressing goes to a friend down the road, but more importantly, that's good also. I just care to use free run, and as you just said, I don't want the harsh bitterness because the skin is so thin, you can get very, very bitter taste in Pinot Noir, and if you over-ripe it, it becomes almost vegetated. And if you smell and taste my Pinots, they have a lot of that earthy forest floor nose, but a lot of cola, a lot of spice, ginger, cloves, because of the oaks that I use. But it's really special. But I can do that when I only make 200 cases. If I was making 50,000, I couldn't make it like that, Tim.
Charles, what I always, my yardstick is, does this wine taste like the fruit that sat on the vine? That, to me, the closer you get to that quality, the more real the wine is.
Yeah, no question. And I think doing that when we go in and cluster thin in July and August, we can get that so that the berries are small, they're intense, you get a lot of that flavor. And I use basically, in this particular 2 acres, there's about 3 clones there. Pomard, and there's a California clone in there, but for the most part, it's there's 2 French clones there. But it makes the wine, and I get the color, I get the extraction when you sit it on or keep it in contact with the juice for about 12 to 14 days. And then we just kind of, like we call it, let it buck when it goes in the barrel. Just let it do its thing.
Charles, you are a delightfully talented winemaker. You're a wonderful person. I know you love to come to New Orleans, and your wines are all over our town. We're very fortunate.
Well, thank you, Tim. I love your town.
Thank you very much for being with us. Charles Mara from Palm Springs, California. His wines come out of Sonoma County. Mara Wines, M-A-R-A. Website, Charles?
Yes, www.marawines.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you in New Orleans. We'll share wines together, I know. Always fun to judge with you, sir. Thank you for being a good friend of our city and for me.
Thank you, Tim, very much. Great talking to you.
Charles Mara in California. Tim McNally right here. Appetite for Life, WLAE, Channel 32. We're going to be right back. Don't go away. We're at Dickie Brennan's Palace Cafe. We're sitting here with some beautiful charcuterie. Chef, this is your specialty, isn't it?
One of them, yes.
Yeah,
But yeah, we have plenty. I love our program. Charcuterie program is doing very well, and we have expanded to different, more than just charcuterie. Charcuterie of the sea, charcuterie of vegetable, and so we are playing with it, and it's working very well for us.
You have a reputation for that sort of thing. What is charcuterie?
Well, technically the word for charcuterie is flesh of something. But you can transform, we're not transforming something. I like to mess with things, you know what I'm saying? We make everything in-house, and except the prosciutto right now, because it's almost ready. So I'm waiting. And prosciutto is a mystery meat. You don't know what you're gonna get. Even the big corporations sometimes have the mystery meat. And that's, prosciutto is
Why is prosciutto like that?
oh, it's 12,
It's temperamental?
yes.
Yes.
Like 12, 14 months of curing, 16 months, and the result could be, don't know. Sometimes it's like having a baby, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be nice and smart, or it's gonna be whatever, you don't know.
Like me.
Yeah.
So charcuterie is a preparation time. How do you prepare? What we have here a lot of different things. Meats, we have some vegetables. What does it go through?
Just let me tell you what I got over here. Like
Yeah.
we have a liver mousse,
Okay.
duck liver mousse, duck prosciutto, turkey neck rillette, which I get an interpretation from the Cajun country. I went there and I had something. So now I make a turkey neck rillette, smoked turkey neck rillette with roasted peppers.
Your cousins converted you, the Cajuns.
No, Dickie forced me. Dickie made me, what you call it, creolize. He forced me, baptized me Creole or something. So I learned. I convinced him about salmon also. So we have duck rillette and lamb pate with dates, cumin, nutmeg, saffron, just more like a Moroccan spice. Just, you can play with things. And the country pate I have there is curry rice, pork, curry rice, Chopipila farm. The lamb is from a Tourans farm, and then it's with ham that we smoke in house, homemade bacon, and just a country pate, where we make everything in house. And passaola, which is a Louisiana Wagyu, cured with juniper berry, black peppercorn, and saucisson sec, like a French salami.
I love the way you say saucisson. I love that.
Yeah. Say it. Why don't you say it?
Saucisson.
Yeah, that's good, though.
Doesn't work. No.
Very good. People love my French accent.
Oh,
it's all fake, you know that.
No,
huh?
it's not fake. Where are you from originally, Chef?
From Lorraine.
Lorraine?
And the border of Luxembourg and Germany,
Yeah.
and everything else.
Yeah.
So that's where I
And
come
it's been in
from.
all kinds of countries. Lorraine's been back and forth over the years.
It's always being French, sir.
Yes. So is charcuterie the whole thing? Is that what it's called? Is that when you go into a restaurant, you see a charcuterie, it's going to come out as different things on a plate?
Yes, it can be your interpretation, but the traditional thing, that's part of traditional, but not so, like I'm telling you, we have more. Part of our charcuterie program, we have the vegetable charcuterie. I make a vegetable sausage. I make a vegetable terrine, mushroom terrine, 4 different kind of mushroom terrine, and roasted vegetable, just to have an option for people to have something to eat. And to me, it's fun. I like to mess with things.
Oh, it's fun.
And something with our seafood charcuterie we do. We have octopus terrine, we have shrimp, smoked shrimp sausage, smoked redfish. So I like to mess with things in a sense. I keep expanding it because it's fun.
So why, in your opinion, has charcuterie become so popular? It's always been around. There's always been a charcuterie. When we go to France years and years ago, there would be a charcuterie plate. But suddenly Americans have discovered charcuterie.
Because I think more and more young chefs have learned how to do it, and they're doing it, they're not scared of it. Don't try to sell charcuterie in California.
Oh.
They won't buy pate,
they
won't buy pate, they won't buy thing. Very few, maybe in San Francisco or something, and maybe in a wine country. But otherwise, when I live in California, I couldn't sell a piece of pate. Because everybody assumes pate is fattening and liver in there. Everything is always liver in there. It's not. I only have the pate with liver. So I think that's what people think. Pate always has liver,
Yeah.
which is not.
Not. So on the edge here, Chef, you've got 2 like condiment areas here on either side of the tray.
That's a Creole mustard with reduced beer, Louisiana beer.
Really?
We cook the beer down, we cook the mustard seed, and we add the mustard to it and mustard seed. And that's one. The other one, capers on it. It's just, again, it's not traditional. No, This one is like red wine, raspberry, mustard. We put a bit olives in there, homemade marinated olives. We have homemade marinated pickles, from Kobe rice again. And here we have a homemade mostarda. Right now it's peaches. We have peaches with raisin, mustard, and a bit of hot sauce.
Now, is this seasonal?
Well, we change all the time. So
Change all the time.
what do you have? The mustard will change, the pate will change. We have a basic core. We also what I call the sushi list. So we have about 27 different items. Cooks hate it, but they love it in the sense because you order like a sushi plate, and you order, I want one of this, one of that, one of that. It's a lot of work. But we have more than what we actually have on board. We have 4 different boards, and not including and then people can switch that anytime because it's fun.
Well, it's fun and it's so tasty. You know, to me, rather than coming into Dickie Brennan's having a dinner, I know they don't want to hear this, but I would do this.
The only thing they want to hear, they want you to come for dinner.
Yes, well,
so like,
This
doesn't matter.
is a beautiful thing on the table.
The Black Duck Bar is that. It's just come here for a bottle of rosé, beautiful rosé we're trying right now. Come here for a glass of rosé and have that. I think is enough for 4 people. And we're very generous with portion. Dickie like big portion. And don't short him on that. But so that's enough for me for 4 people to have a nice snack. And our happy hours are incredible. But even a regular thing, we at lunch we do beautiful sandwiches on Bellegarde bread. When everything that you see that it get transformed into a sandwich.
Wow!
Like the bresaola goes with a pickled watermelon, French brie, the red wine mustard on the Bellegarde bread, and it's fun.
It's fun. And the rosé is Dickie Brennan's rosé on tap.
I don't think he made it, but yes,
but
I know it is beautiful.
But it's delicious.
Just kidding.
It's perfect with this because you got so many different flavors here, and this wine crosses over all of it.
To me, rosé goes with everything. But you know what? If you want to drink beer or rum, we have an incredible selection of rums over here.
Yeah.
I never knew some of the rum they make from India, from different places. It's pretty incredible.
Pretty incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you're pretty incredible. We're talking to Chef Rene Bajoux, Dickie Brennan's Black Duck Bar, 2nd floor at the Palace Cafe. Chef, thank you so much for your beautiful work, sir. Thank you. Tim McNally right here. Appetite for Life, WLAE-TV, Channel 32. Come back. That's tonight's Appetite for Life. Thank you for joining us. And thanks to Laura Belluci, who brings more enthusiasm to a cocktail than anyone else I know. And to my buddy, Charles Mara, a demanding and knowledgeable winemaker. And a final thanks to a very dear friend, Chef Rene Bajoux at Palace Cafe, a Frenchman who loves this city passionately. Next week, more passionate professionals in the world of beverage and cuisine coming your way. People who share your appetite for life. I'm Tim McNally. Good night.
This program has been brought to you by Republic National Distributing Company, one of the nation's leading wholesale beverage alcohol distributors. And Bayou Rum, made with only the best Louisiana cane syrup and raw unrefined sugars. Our rums are crafted on-site at the Louisiana Spirits Distillery. For more information, visit bayourum.com.